Sheila?
I haven't seen her. Did she have a good Rosh Hashanah?
Yeah, we had an interesting Rosh Hashanah.
You didn't talk about it.
I know, I didn't talk about it because my friend was like, who wants to hear about your Rosh Hashanah? I was like, ooh, I guess no one wants to hear about it.
Interesting is not really exciting.
No.
I got bit by a bee, stung by a bee.
Well, that's because you're, you're like renowned.
I wasn't in shul.
What is it? Like, what's that word where you're like saying no to God? You're
I don't know. All right. Well, over my religion,
He's repenting.
The next time.
No, I forget what the word is. Renouncing?
Oh, we'll figure it out.
It's an R word.
Yeah, it is an R. That does start with R. So let me introduce you to a friend of mine, but also a supremely talented individual. This is Ali Theodore, but he goes by Ali Dee. And I was just calling that, but I never actually asked why. And what is the D for?
So basically, back in like 82, 83,
but
like
first of all, he's a music producer,
yes.
so you're going to see a little bit of that vibe come out.
Yeah. So I make
white
music.
Jewish guy.
I make music. Actually, I'm a trader for Goldman Sachs. I dress like this every day. Pork bellies. Sell. Mortimer. Sell Mortimer. Sell.
Trading places.
Yeah, correct.
Yes.
Correct.
Yeah.
No, so the D basically came when I was looking for like a hip hop name.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, I've got Ali.
That's your real given name.
Given name.
Okay.
So I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
When I started to get into music and breakdancing and hip hop, back in the early 80s, a lot of people, instead of G, like, what up, G, they'd be like, what up, D, for like dude or whatever.
Okay.
Right? So I was kind of like, okay, well, Ali D sounds pretty good, but it can't just be Ali letter D. I need to have the two E's, D-E-E.
Right.
And then I was like, well, the extra E is for extra D.
The extra E is for extra D.
By the way, if you're, true Manhattanites or New Yorkers watching, you would know that that's from the Robin Bird Show, Channel J, where they had the extra
J.
Letter. Different letter.
Yeah.
Is for extra different letter.
Well, see, I don't know what he's talking about, but I feel like if
But I do, sadly.
So that's where I got it from. I even like when I first started, like my publishing company was called, the extra E is for extra D. Oh. And everyone was like, what does that mean? I was like, you just have no idea.
I'm one of those, I just had no
Channel
idea.
Channel J, Robin Bird Show. How you doing?
Okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So you're Ali D.
Yes.
Is Robin Bird still around?
She's
Didn't
still
he do
alive.
the mansions? Like, so many crazy big mansions? Is that Robin Bird?
No. She probably did a lot of guys in a lot of big mansions.
This is a woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're thinking of Robin Leach.
Oh, Robin
from
Leach.
Lifestyles
Right,
of the Rich and Famous.
Robin Leach.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
This interview has gone way off course.
Robin Bird.
Oh, he took it off way off course.
Robin Bird was Debbie in the original Debbie Does Dallas.
Oh, the porn.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes,
now I
yes,
get it.
yes.
Now
That's why I was
yes.
embarrassed that I knew what he was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, welcome, Ali D.
Thank you. I'm here.
So you were big in the hip hop circles.
Yes.
Were you rapping? Like, were you performing also?
I was rapping. I wanted to be a rapper. So,
really?
Yeah. And I started probably when I was about 14, 15. I bought my first keyboard, bought a drum machine, started making songs about kids that I went to school with.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, you should do this for real. And then, like, next thing you know, I've, like, got demos out there, and I get offered a record deal, and I never look back. So I've been doing this now professionally 28, 29 years.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
Was it ever a thing where your friends or your family said, you don't look like a typical rapper? This was around like the Vanilla Ice time, or this was before Vanilla Ice?
It was. So I started rapping before the Vanilla Ice days, but basically I got my record deal, my first deal in 1989.
Okay.
Which was right when he was breaking.
Like a real record deal?
Yeah, like a real record deal.
Amazing.
I remember, it was actually funny. I was in Times Square. Lord knows what I was doing in Times Square.
What the heck were you doing there?
Watching the Robin Bird Show?
Nothing good, probably.
Yeah.
Watching Robin Bird Show, probably. And I remember I had a beeper, and I got a beep.
Yeah.
And I called, and it was like my manager, and he's like, Chrysalis Records is offering you a record deal. And I remember I jumped up, screamed, and I literally grabbed the nearest woman next to me and like tackled her to the floor.
Yeah.
Because I was so excited.
Was that your wife?
No.
Oh, just a random woman.
Yeah,
of course.
A random woman.
Yeah.
And And I'm still that excited today, believe it or not.
Love
so
it.
It's kind of nuts.
I'm not going to ask you if you remember like some of the first things off that album, but it was all like rap, and you did it and you performed.
Oh yeah. Oh, I mean, there's some pretty amazing events that happened on that album. I mean, I remember doing a show. So there used to be an underground hip hop show in the city called Car Wash, and
do you remember that, Lance?
Yeah.
so
No.
Happy Walters and Amanda Shear they put the shows together. So Happy Walters is now a big executive in Hollywood. Relativity, makes movies.
Oh, I know Relativity.
Right, they're big time,
Yeah.
right? So they had these underground hip hop shows called Car Wash, and so the group I was in, it was called The Next School. It was actually the first white and black rap group to ever come out. So we spoke about racial, equality
Yeah.
and how two guys from different, ends of the city can link up and
Yeah.
make some great music together.
Yeah.
So it was really positive. But I remember we getting to the show, and I was pretty much the only white guy there, and I was very nervous because I'm performing on stage with Ultramagnetic MCs. Brand Nubian was there. I want to say I think like Leaders of New School. It was hosted by Dr. Dre and Ed Lover from UMTV Raps.
Dr. Dre.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I was like, okay, this is nerve-wracking,
Yeah.
right? So, of course, unknowing to me, my partner, it was a duo, the group. My partner is at the bar for like 2 hours before we go on stage, and is completely trashed.
Okay.
I mean, trashed. We go on stage, our set starts, and it started with like a shaker to like let you know when to come in.
Yeah.
And like he introduced me on the first song. So basically the shaker's like and there's like no vocal. And I'm like standing there like looking at him. He's literally walking around the stage like looking up at the lights, trying to catch butterflies or something, on stage. So I introduce myself. I do his line. I'm like, Ali Dee, my man, if it's all right with me. And I do the line, and I start rapping, and I'm basically like, okay, I got to really go for it. I'm like, I'm at the tip of the stage, looking at everybody. And then the second verse started with us rhyming in unison.
Oh, boy.
Well, he came in with his verse while I'm rapping a completely different verse. So needless to say, the show was awful. We get done. We go off stage. There's literally almost a fight backstage because one of the guys from Ultramagnetic MCs who knew my rapping partner is like going up to him asking my rapping partner why I stole his rhyme on stage. So my partner comes up to me, he's like, why are you stealing my rhymes? And I'm like, what's going on here? He's like, you're stealing my rhymes because my rhymes are better than yours. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So I'm backstage. Dr. Dre and Ed Lover go back on stage, and they're literally like, hey, everybody, let's hear for Brand Nubian. And the crowd erupts. They're like, The Next School. That was the name of my group.
Yeah.
It's like crickets.
Yeah.
Next School. Crowd is erupting.
Right.
Next School. Crickets.
Right.
And basically from there, I'm like, okay, I need to leave now.
Yeah, right now.
And maybe I need to move away from this group and stuff like that. So that was my experience with my first group. It was pretty insane, intense. Co-hosted UMTV Raps with Dr. Dre and Ed Lover. Did Rap City.
Yeah.
Did you co-host with Fab Five Freddy?
Not with Fab Five Freddy. With Dr. Dre and Ed
Dr.
Lover.
Dre, so Fab wasn't around with them?
He was, but they swapped hosting spots.
I actually worked with him.
Fab Five's, he's amazing.
Yeah.
And that was pretty incredible too, because again, I was so nervous on the show that I kept cursing. And, they kept on cutting. They're like, Ali, it's MTV, you can't curse.
Right.
I'm like, okay, no problem. So they're like, so what? And I was like, fucking,
And
they're like,
cut.
right. Cut. So I was so nervous. I look back at that interview today, and literally I can't watch it because I'm like, who is that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, like, they asked me about Vanilla Ice. I'm like, yo, I'll battle him, yo.
Right.
I'll battle him, yo. I
Jewish, by the way.
Right. I turned into a gangster.
Right.
Gangs.
So, moved on from there, had many other record deals as an artist, started producing, small acts, big projects, small projects.
Yeah. Like, you did stuff like, you went from that to doing Alvin and the Chipmunks. Like, that's amazing.
Yes.
Like, he produced the music for Alvin and the Chipmunks.
You did?
Yes. for the first 3 films.
Did you do
which
the
are the only 3
Akon
films
song
that
one?
matter? What's that?
Is there one with Akon? Did you use any Akon music?
I'm sure we had to.
You
have.
even know all of that.
I'm sure we had.
Akon's the best family album around. He has the Akon Beautiful Day.
That's funny.
It's like
how do you know this fact?
Because I leave it in my car. Like I have 6 kids.
Got it.
Every one of them loves Akon's
that's
music.
really
That's really
funny.
funny.
So I have so many things. First of all, like that one little story was a story I never heard about Ali before. He has 7,000 stories. He is like an episode of Seinfeld where Jay Peterman like wanted to write a book of stories and actually remember he used Kramer for his stories because they were so good.
Yeah.
Literally, that's this guy. Like I just have to share one story because it's
Let's do it.
so funny.
I like it.
And then I want to find out about music producing.
Yes.
Here's what Ali and I have in common. 2 years ago, I had an endoscopy. I had a stomach ache. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
They said I needed an endoscopy. I didn't even know what an endoscopy was. Like I showed up. I'm like, Dad is great. Like, give
Right.
me the
You're like,
stomach
let's
ache.
go.
I was like,
I'll be out of here in 5
whatever
minutes.
it is. Like, give me the endoscopy. I'm like,
Right.
do I have to take my shoes off? Like I didn't even understand what was happening. Like couldn't be less prepared. Then with the needle and I'm freaking out and all of a sudden they tell me to count to 10 backwards. I'm like, count to 10 backwards? Hello, I learned that a million years. It's 10.
Right. Exactly. Right.
Out. Because you think you're getting all the way to 1 and it's not working. You know, you say,
Right.
you're like, I'm still here. You guys, it's not working.
Right.
Right, okay.
Done.
Anyway, I wake up and I'm like, God, they literally put me, and I'm trying to change to get ready, and I'm thinking to myself, they have put me in the smallest room imaginable. This room is so small, I don't understand how anybody could get dressed in a room like this. I remember thinking to myself, and I'm saying it out loud, I'm like, oh, there's no room, and I'm like trying to change, whatever, and my friend Marcy came to pick me up. I walk outside into the waiting room, and all I see is Marcy run towards me, turn me around, and push me back inside. I go, what's going on? I had put my bra on the outside of my top. So I put my shirt on, and then I put my bra on, and she goes, you can't, this is not right. You have to change.
Right. It's not a fashion statement.
It's not a fashion statement. I go back into, I'm not going back in there. She said, why? I go, they put me in the smallest room. She goes, what? I go, I can't change in a room like that. She goes, well, show me the room. So honestly, this is what I did. I was starting to get it back. So watch me. So I walk into the corner, squish myself in the corner, and now I'm trying to change. She goes, well, get out of the corner. I go, what are you talking about? She goes, well, I go, look, there's no room to do anything. She goes, well, what are you in the corner for? It's an entire room. But I was so out of it.
Right, you were wasted.
I was wasted.
Right.
That I walked myself into a tiny corner and full on changed, but obviously not really because I put my bra. Now, I thought that was just something, whatever. Then I meet this amazing woman named Dara, who I became best friends with like overnight because we shared so many similar things. And out of the blue, she happens to tell me that you too had a procedure.
Yes.
And they somehow, the way she told me, and I know you say it's different, they put you in a wheelchair to come out of it.
Correct.
And you said when you woke up, they had you wheeled right up against a wall.
They definitely did.
So you two were in, right up, and you didn't want to go back in there because it was such a small room because they had wheeled you.
Yes.
Now,
laying on the bed like you were.
Yeah.
Totally up.
Yeah.
Wired up.
All of it.
Ready to go.
Right.
And they're like, count backwards, 10, boom, I'm out.
Out.
Literally wake up, gown fitting better than it was before, in a wheelchair, and I wake up and the door is at my feet, and I'm like, where the hell am I right now? and by the way, my room was really small, I think.
He thinks it. It wasn't.
Yeah.
What is an endoscopy?
An endoscopy is when they put the tube down you. They just wanted to see why I was having like
camera, the whole thing.
The camera goes down. It's not a colonoscopy. It just goes down into your.
It's just the reverse side.
Yeah, it's from your throat down to here and then back up. I guess.
Right.
Got it.
I don't know. I don't even really know. I never even asked what it was. I just sort of figured my insurance paid for it. They said I needed it. I showed up. Let's do it. The endoscopy. Here we are.
It's good to be proactive.
It's good to be proactive.
Yeah.
I mean, knock on something. I was healthy, so it was all good. So anyway, that was hilarious that you two got wheeled up.
Oh yeah, no. And again, because when you go out, you don't even remember going out.
No.
So it's basically you're talking to people and then you wake up.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like time just disappears.
What happened? No one knows.
And literally, I wake up. I'm now sitting in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
Dressed more than I was before.
Right.
And I'm staring at a white door. And I'm like, okay, then what has just happened? Yeah, it was pretty crazy.
I love it. Okay, so I'm sorry to take you on that tangent, but it
all
cracked
good.
me up.
All good.
So I I know that there are music producers out there. I don't understand what it is you do. You're not actually making music. You're actually doing like the behind, like all the hard work that we don't realize is work that goes into a song.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. So, I was brought up in an entertainment family, theatrical entertainment. My mother was the original Anybody's a West Side Story.
Wow.
She directed, choreographed many Broadway shows, gave Liza Minnelli her first job on Broadway,
Wow.
Flora the Red Menace. And so I grew up around entertainment. Gwen Verdon was at the house, Cheetah Rivera, La La La, all those, all that world. Real New York theater.
Right.
My mother's brother, Uncle Eugene, was a principal violist in the Philharmonic, so I had, I guess, music in my gene, which was pretty cool. But I really started out dancing, and
oh yeah, you did the Charleston for me the other night,
and I did it pretty well.
Yeah, and you were a little bit buzzed.
I was very buzzed. I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, you are.
2 glasses, I'm ready to go.
And he doesn't just drink regular, like, let me get, I don't know, whiskey on the rocks. He's like, let me have a Shirley Temple.
Absolutely.
But can you put, I mean, here's like the most masculine guy you could imagine, and he's like rapping all of it.
Yeah.
And then he goes and he gets the drinks, and there's more floral arrangements on top of his drink than the botanical gardens.
Right. And I sometimes like a little umbrella or a monkey.
Yeah,
Are you
like
taking
that.
place in the diet?
What's that?
Is he going to be participating?
Well, yeah, I haven't broached that topic yet. We didn't talk about the whole 30 yet, whether you're doing it or not with us.
I'll do it because I'm doing something like it now.
Right.
But maybe
so
not.
Dara and I have put together something fun for him, but
Yeah.
maybe he's going to join us for
Maybe
this.
I might join.
No floral arrangements on
never
drinks
know.
and no cookies, but other than that,
Could be a nice
Speaking of
surprise.
cookies.
it could be a very
Could be
nice,
a nice
surprise.
surprise.
We have someone making cookies after us, so she's not going to be allowed on the whole 30 after this. Anyway, go on.
Yeah, I'm going to be leaving by the time you're on. I would love to watch, but I would eat all the cookies.
Right, exactly.
That's the
He would.
problem. Yeah. So making music really became as a passion because I used to dance to music, right? So I'm dancing all this great music, whether it be classical, pop, hip hop, whatever it might be.
Did you do the breakdancing?
I did.
Really?
I did. And that's pretty amazing too. So just a quick little story. It's like 1982. My mom, because of, reconstructing dance numbers and all that, we had all this video equipment and stuff at the house. And I remember 1982, we were like, one of the few in Manhattan that got cable for the first time, right? So it was like, 10 channels, all black and white, public access, whatever. So my mom one day brings, a 3/4-inch videotape.
Yeah.
And it's like, pops it in. And she's like, I don't know what style of dancing this is, but I want you to learn it. And it was basically 2 kids from New York City Breakers, Flip Rock and Little Leb, who I learned later that it was them. And literally I set it up in the living room with the mirror over there, the TV in back of me, and I would try to learn their moves.
And it was breakdancing.
And it was breakdancing, right. So it's before Michael Jackson did the moonwalk, before it was sort of pop culture.
Yeah. Before
So,
Breaking Away, isn't that, what was the movie? Breakout.
Yeah, no, Break It.
Break It.
Yeah, or Beat Street or any of those
Yeah,
movies.
oh, I saw
Yeah,
those.
yeah. I mean, 1982 was like pretty early.
Okay.
Especially on the Upper East Side of Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right. You're spinning on your head like the cops are coming.
Right.
Like what are you doing, you maniac? And I'm like, I'm doing head spins. Music was a natural, really transition. I fell in love with hip hop. I started getting some equipment. I started making these little rinky-dink, very basic, beats and stuff like that. I started rhyming. I bought a 4-track recorder, and really, I had a knack for production. I had a knack for knowing what sounds good. Why a snare sounds good versus another one not, or a kick drum, or a keyboard sound.
These are all like hip hop.
Yeah, well, it's not even hip hop. It's music production.
Okay.
So Katy Perry. When you're making a Katy Perry record, they're like, what snare are we using? What kick drum are we using? What hi hat?
So it's not like Katy Perry goes into a studio, sings a song, and then that just goes on to an album.
Oh no. It's a fairly long, involved process. It's an extremely creative process because really, at the end of the day, music, at least in my opinion, should be created from a visceral place, from your heart, not really your mind.
Yeah.
So it's really about what your emotion is speaking, and hopefully it comes out. And I've always said to aspiring producers or writers, like, if it's not coming out right, like, leave. Like, go see a movie. Go have dinner. Go
find your creativity and come
go,
back.
go do something and then come back to it. Don't try to, beat it until then it becomes just completely stale.
Anything with creativity.
Lackluster. Exactly. Right. So, I had a knack for music production. I had a knack for music production also because of the way I was brought up. I was brought up around so many different genres of music that, even if I created a hip-hop track, it certainly was musical.
Right.
It wasn't like underground and like dirty and grimy.
No.
I never really made records like that because it's not really who I am, on the inside. So everything always had a melodic line to it, or a girl singing a chorus or whatever.
Yeah.
It's an involved process.
And now, you sit in front of a computer.
Yeah.
You can make everything is sort of done. You make it.
It is. So it's obviously went from analog, the reel-to-reel tapes. You used to record on tape. You maybe had some musicians come in, play a bass line, or even a keyboardist come in and play a piano track or whatever. You could have live musicians come in. It then became digital, so then you had like ADAT, digital recording, where the advent of having a live musician started becoming less and less because the keyboards and the synthesizers that were being invented,
replaced them.
Oh yeah, I mean, really emulated them pretty well. Now you're at the point where really, musicians, I don't want to say musicians are obsolete because I love hiring musicians because there's nothing like a live horn section.
Yeah.
There's nothing like a live string player.
Yeah.
But what I'll do is I'll combine it. So I might have samples of a horn section.
And you'll lengthen it or something.
I'll have a horn player come in and play on top of it.
Oh,
so all of a sudden, if I hire one horn player playing on top of samples, it now becomes a section.
Oh, and that sounds...
It sounds great.
Oh, that's cool.
But it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing that I produce music and that's my job. It's sort of like I can't believe it.
Do you feel like it has taken away from the the purity of music? The fact that obviously it has a little bit, but maybe
I think
so. As technology across the board, you have to sort of roll with it.
I think you got to roll with it. I think that when a song. I won't opt for electronics if it means that hiring a musician is going to make it better. Okay. I always want it to be the best.
Yeah.
So if the track or song calls for, an insane drum solo
yeah.
that you just can't really emulate that well,
you're going to get...
I'm gonna hire a drummer. Now if it's, pop music, there's a lot of pop music where you don't need to have a full band. You might want to hire a guitar player to come in and play.
Right.
Nice little riff in the chorus or whatever, and have the chorus lift. But I love hiring live musicians. I work with some of the best live musicians around.
Brag to me a little bit. Tell me some of throw out some names of people you've worked with.
Okay, so in terms of artists?
Yeah, the people that I've known.
Miley Cyrus.
Oh, really?
Amazing. She was an amazing artist to work with. So I worked with her.
Did she kiss you?
She did not kiss me.
Did not kiss you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Okay.
We definitely spoke about boyfriends and stuff like that. She played me a song.
Did she come through your studio in a wrecking ball, or she just actually walked through the door?
No, honestly, it was sort of like a wrecking ball. Highway patrol escort.
Yeah.
Really? Oh yeah. It was definitely, the studio we're working out.
How crazy was that Kim Kardashian stuff?
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Is it? Yeah. Is it 100%
legit?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Does
it sound like
remember when the Bubble Boy thing came out?
Where was everybody?
All of a sudden, the first time in her whole life, she was
no
completely
security.
alone.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think they were dressed up like police.
That's not even the point. But why? How did she have nobody there? Not a bodyguard, not another human.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Anyway.
Sorry.
I don't think we'll ever know.
Other artists.
Yeah. So Miley was incredible. So we say she come in a wrecking ball. So it was how old was she when I worked with her? I guess she was 17. She was still with Disney. So it was for her movie. What was the movie?
Hannah Montana.
Hannah Montana, the movie. You're right. Hannah Montana, the movie.
The movie.
So
creative title.
She exactly.
Yeah.
She was actually awesome. Not when I first met her. It's actually a good story. So she comes in the studio and she's like, heard the song, know it. We get introduced. She's like all business. She's
ready to sing her song.
Oh no. She's like, got it. Ready. ready to go in and
Yeah.
record. I don't really work that way. I need to
You have some foreplay.
I need to massage a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, okay.
Put on some nice music.
Correct.
A glass of wine.
Dim the
I
lights.
get it. Dim
Right,
the lights.
right,
Sure, of
right,
course.
Right. Give a minor some wine.
Little
it's all
bit
good.
of
Right.
all
Well done,
good.
Right. So she goes into the booth, and all her handlers are in the control room with me. Her mom was there. Blah blah blah. Everybody's there, right?
Yeah.
And so basically, I'm going through running her sound check and getting levels on.
Is she getting annoyed at all, or she's
No,
still doing it?
she's good.
Okay.
She's good. So, like the fifth time, I've got like her level sounding good, compression's right, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I push the talkback button. We can see each other through the glass, and everybody's in the room with me.
Yeah.
And I push the talkback button, and I'm like, Miley, you sound great. Let's take it for real. And I keep the talkback button down, and I turn around and look at everyone, and I go, she sounds like shit.
On purpose?
Oh yeah. Totally on purpose. So everyone in the room is like everyone in the room, it's like you could hear like a pin drop. I turn back around through the glass, and she's like this to me. And then we were great. And then,
that's fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, and
It's a Jenna move.
Yeah, no.
It's a pure Jenna move.
Right.
Like when I backed over you with my car on our first time we went out for dinner.
And broke my left leg.
Yeah, total Jenna move.
I felt like loose around you.
Yes,
Right.
yes, we were good. We were in. We were tight. Okay, so now she's happy. She's
So totally happy.
love it.
Was an incredible singer, sang really, really well, like better than most.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
She has a good voice.
definitely great voice.
Yeah.
There's some clunkers
I'm sure.
out there. I mean, like really clunkers.
People that are very successful, but they have such terrible voices, and computers really make them.
We can
sound
fix
good.
it. Unfortunately,
Those are called clunkers.
yeah, the clunkers. Yeah, some
Okay.
real clunkers.
Yeah.
But it's actually funny. So Miley, towards the end of our session, we were talking, blah, blah, blah. She's like, oh, what do you think about this song? She's playing me stuff. And I'm like, oh, I got to go. And she's like, no, don't go. And I'm like, why? She's like, the next producers are so boring that are coming.
Really?
And I realized that it's funny because everyone wants to criticize her like, oh, she's gone crazy. Or,
Right.
you know what? She just wants to be spoken to like a real person.
Yeah.
And like, she was 16 or 17. She wants to be spoken to like a 16, 17-year-old.
Right.
Not like an 11-year-old and yes to everything.
Right.
So I think she appreciated that because I was basically like, no, I hate that chord.
Right.
You gotta change that.
Yeah.
And literally, she's like, the next guys are so boring.
And they won. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So
I love that.
It was kind of fun.
Hey, give me an album that we don't really know about that we should listen to. That's great music. Give an up-and-coming singer you're producing, or anyone that you think is going to be that we look out for. This person's going to be the next. Like,
I do. So I haven't developed an artist in a while because, quite frankly, it's a pain in the ass. It's not glamorous at all, right? You have to oversee everything. If they're not working, you got to lay out tons of money, blah, blah, blah. I do have an artist, though, that I started working with a little over a year ago. She's incredible. Staten Island resident, New Yorker, which I love, 26 years old, Nikki Tino. She's incredible.
Why? Great voice, great personality, great everything.
Everything. Like, lights up a room, performs her ass off, incredible voice, incredible songwriter.
Yeah.
Wants it, like if I'm like, hey, we got to do this, and she's like got to like grind to get it done, however, and ask favors or work extra hard or do whatever, she's like, let's get it done.
Nice.
Radio Disney's playing one of her singles now called Brat.
Okay.
B-R-A-T. It's really cool.
Okay.
And
Common spelling.
Yeah, common spelling. Yeah. Common spelling. right. And B-R-R-A-A-A-A-E-T.
The third T silent.
Right, exactly. She's awesome, so I love her.
What's her name? Nikki Tino.
Nikki Tino.
Would she come on and sing with us?
Absolutely.
We should get her on.
Yeah, she will blow you away. She's incredible. I mean,
I'm curious to know who you
incredible.
think is incredible. As someone who's been around music since you're 5 years old, I would love to hear someone that you think has a pure voice and is absolutely incredible.
Okay, so like, it's actually funny. So I'm sort of old school when it comes to these things because I grew up around so much great music and great singers.
He's already writing down.
Back in the day.
It's like, no joke. See?
He's hilarious. Back in the day, great singers didn't have the technology today to fix a vocal.
So they had to rely on their voice.
Oh, I mean, they had to be incredible, right?
Yeah.
So, Dion and the Belmonts were okay, this guy, I had the pleasure of recording him. I got chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
Because he was so incredible. I recorded with him probably 15 years ago. It was like you were listening to his records. I mean, perfect. Like, not pitchy.
Yeah.
I mean, soulful, meaningful, you know.
Yeah.
So artists like that, I love. You know, artists that can just get up, you know, not warm up their voice.
Right.
And they just sing something and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know, that really gets me turned on.
Okay.
You know, like the idea now of so many artists that are out there that are maybe good, or maybe they got a great personality, or, you know, maybe they're great looking, or maybe they dance great, or
Right.
whatever. I really love the triple threat. I really love artists that, you know, embody it all,
Right.
and don't really have, you know, shortcomings in their skill set.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there are few today, right, that like you can really say are like ridiculously amazing.
Yeah.
You know, Beyonce, ridiculously amazing.
She is.
Right? Sings ridiculous.
Yeah.
Performs ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Dance ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Has business acumen like
Yeah.
ridiculous, right?
Right.
Ridiculous.
She's in concert this Friday night here.
She is?
Yeah,
Okay.
so like she's a rarity, but that's why she's Beyonce.
Right.
Right?
She only has one name. So, like...
Right, with Beyonce, with 3 syllables.
With 3 syllables. Like, sort of like you. Like, we don't go Ali.
3 syllables.
Ali Dee. Yeah,
I think
you
we're
and
on to
Beyonce
something.
are like
no,
the
no,
exact
I,
same thing.
I think we're on to
Yeah,
something.
you walked out like Beyonce. Oh, it's
Jenna
just
Wolf.
you, Ali Dee. Jenna Wolf, but that's 2 names. But yeah, you're right. Yeah,
No,
you're right.
yeah, but
3 syllables.
3 syllables.
but you
Just a triple threat.
you know, you wouldn't say Jenna.
No, that's ridiculous.
You've got to have Wurf.
You got to have Wolf at the end of it.
Yeah, you have to
just
have
to
that.
bring it full circle.
Right, I agree,
I hear
I
you.
agree. So who else do I think is great?
That's fantastic. Who should I go buy? Who should I download right now? Besides Nikki Tina. Can you download her music?
You can.
Okay,
You
so
can.
you
It's on
guys go
iTunes.
get Nikki Tino's song.
Her Instagram
Rap,
is
silent
Nikki
tune.
Tino Music.
Okay.
That's NIKKITINO Music, and that's her Twitter also.
Common spelling of the word
Oh,
music.
you know her Twitter, but not your own.
Yeah. That was brutal, dude. Brutal.
You know what? It's horrible. I'm gonna join Twitter again now.
Again.
Before
And-
Google
and
Didn't
buys
take
it.
the first time.
No. You know what? It's like one of those things where like you join, you know,
You don't do anything with it.
yeah,
It
shut
goes
it down,
away, sorry.
and you forget.
Forget.
So it's like every time I sign up, the name's taken.
Right, of
and
course.
it's me.
You're like, son of a... Who the hell took all that
Right,
was me?
exactly.
12 times.
Although there is a country singer named Ali Dee,
Okay.
blonde country singer,
Yeah.
who's like a spokesperson for like the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
or it's very interesting.
I know this is like when I'm sitting around the Thanksgiving Day table when I used to work at the Today Show. My dad we'd have people over. My dad would be like, "Jen, anchor something for these guys. They've never seen you work. Just anchor something, quick. Do an anchor." I'm like, What is that? I don't even know what you're saying, Dad. Like, what does that even mean? Like, what am I hearing?
Right.
So that'd be like me, you saying like, just do a little rap or like something like with a beat. Like, you know what I mean?
Wow.
Right?
That's-
Don't
that-
put
that-
you on the spot.
No.
Like, I'm so
Wow.
bad. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's the worst.
Like the thing, like I'm already sweating.
You're already sweating.
Look
Now
at this.
Sweat
Like
on
I'm,
top of sweat.
Yeah, I'm like sweating.
This will
Now
be
you-
it. This is the
now
last
you
thing I'm asking you, and
Well,
then you get to be in the shade and you get to relax.
Okay, before
Okay,
I
okay.
do, I
Yeah.
just want to tell you a very funny story.
Okay.
Okay.
Not that every story you tell me is not also hilarious.
Well, they're all
We didn't
hilarious.
even get to the. We've already left the scene officer, which was the funniest story I've ever heard of all time.
That's definitely top.
Yeah.
Definitely top. So, this is a good story, and especially for people that love music that are out there. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's 1993. Okay, I have a solo record. I'm signed to EMI, and I'm a rapper. I'm a solo rapper, right? Okay.
Yeah.
My single is called "Who's the Flavor." It's on MTV. Blah blah blah. Whatever. And so I go out to San Francisco for Jack the Rapper. It used to be a big rap convention called Jack the Rapper. And KMEL, which is a big radio station out there, had a morning show hosted by Sway and Tech from Sway, who's on MTV news anchor on
I know
MTV.
Sway, actually.
Yeah,
He knows me.
exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So Sway and Tech had the morning show, and basically all the rappers that were attending the event are going on the show for the day. They've like it's like a big extended long show.
Right.
So I show up and I get into the green room and I'm looking at the green room and it's like everybody's in the green room. Every big rapper that I could possibly imagine was there.
Right.
And I'm basically like, wow, I'm like really nervous right now. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, hey, what's up? How you doing? Yeah. How you doing? You know, hey, nice to see you. You know, type of thing, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm listening because they're, pumping the show out into the green room. That basically they're making everyone do a freestyle at the end of the interview. And now I really started sweating because I don't freestyle.
Okay.
So now I'm trying to remember, like, I can take a little bit of the second verse and I can put it to the first verse of this, and I can't remember any fucking song. Can I curse? Is that okay?
Yep.
I can't. I just did. I know. I can't remember anything.
Yeah.
And I'm panicking. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't remember any song from my record right now. I can't remember anything. And I'm panicking. And everybody's doing it. It's like you have to do it.
Right.
You're not leaving that room without doing it. Right? So I now into my interview. And I'm knowing that in about 10 minutes, the question's going to be asked. And they're going to drop a beat, and I'm expected to do this.
Yeah.
Now, as a businessman, not really knowing I was then, I'm thinking to myself, how the hell am I going to get out of this? There's no way out of this.
Yeah.
I'm screwed.
Right.
Okay. So, basically, across the studio and in the green room, there are all these big signs saying 100% positively no cursing allowed. All over the studio. Fines, the station was getting fined. So no one was cursing. They were all obeying the rule.
I love where this is going.
So basically, we get up to a question where they say, so what's the beef with you and Young Black Teenagers? Young Black Teenagers was another group out at the time. They had the song Tap the Bottle and Twist the Cap. I had a
Tap the bottle and twist the cap.
Exactly.
Tap the bottle and twist the cap.
Which for another show, I'll give you some trivia on that song too.
Okay.
Anyway, so they asked me the question, and I'm like, it's not so bad. It's okay, whatever. And he's like, all right, well, now you know what time it is. It's time for a little freestyle.
Oh, boy.
So they drop a beat, and basically my first line had so many motherfucking curse words that they shut me down. Okay, so I got out of freestyling, which was incredible.
Yeah.
I go back out to the green room. Everyone's standing applauding me.
Really?
All of my favorite rappers are standing applauding me, thinking I'm a genius, and that I broke the code.
Yes!
So on my way back to the hotel in the car, I'm listening to the station. Now everyone was cursing.
Oh, really?
And Sway and Tech are like, thanks, Ali Dee. Thank you. Thanks, Ali Dee. Hey, we owe all the cursing to Ali Dee.
Ali Dee.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
So that's how I got out of it.
I love it.
Because I can curse on this show, I can't get out of it that way.
No, you don't have to, because we're so easy, but you would have to do this.
Yes.
You would have to remember one of your songs and then come back literally anytime, any day.
And perform it.
You would have to do it for me.
That's not a problem.
Would you do that?
I would absolutely
I don't ever want anyone to do anything they feel like, I know you, and you want it to be great. So would you remember one of your songs and then like literally come back? I don't care, tomorrow, next week, anytime you want.
I think I remember one. I think I remember.
How I do that? That's psychological warfare.
So
we don't want you.
This is a song off of my solo record, 1993. Bring It On. It was a duet I did with Cool G Rap. I don't know if you know Cool G Rap and DJ Polo, legendary rapper. Okay. Like basically,
but he's in prime position. He's in like rap position.
Considered one of the best.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just gonna do Up Until I Remember.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna stop.
2 seconds.
Okay. Is Up Until you remember a song?
Up until he doesn't remember the words anymore.
Right.
It's that's like the name of the song. Okay.
That sounds like a new Disney song.
Yeah.
By the way.
It does.
Up until
Pocahontas sang it, third act in.
Okay, so Breaker sent you to the Undertaker, the rapper that's coming to take you cause I shake you like a Laker. Weather knocking boots, shooting hoops, alley-oop, Ali Dee scoop, funk follow your nose cause easy fruit loops. You bite like bats if you heard me rap, drop something fat on a track I take on 30 cats, you dirty rats. So that's
no wonder you can't remember the words. There's so many words.
There are a lot of words.
Well, you guys put so many words in your songs.
It was faster when I was younger. My tongue doesn't move that fast, which my wife says I need to practice. So, sorry.
No better way to end an interview.
Berger.
No better way. That is so funny. Yeah, U2 comes out with 2 words, so cruel, and they sing it over and over again, and that's because you have to do 1,400 words. No wonder it's so hard.
U2 ain't got nothing on me.
Nothing on Ali Dee.
Yeah, nothing.
Listen, you are so funny, and you're so entertaining, and we only scratched the surface. I want you to come back whenever you can.
Yes.
Bring your guy James.
I will.
His partner James.
And we'll email about Nikki Tino and get her on the show.
Oh, yes. Nikki Tino, amazing.
Email me. We'll get her on the show. Let me
Absolutely.
And we'll bring Dara on, and we'll talk all things fitness.
I love it. You guys can do like burpees.
Yeah, we could do burpees for a full.
And like you could like plank
minutes.
on the.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll plank on this thing over
on the
here.
ledge.
Yeah, why not? So Nikki Tino, you're awesome. If anyone needs a music producer, Ali Dee's the guy. You can look him up. All his information is on the top.
We're not going to have a lot of time for the break because we went over a lot.
Okay, so we're gonna
just go right in.
We're gonna go right into it.
Just
okay,
take a picture.
Oh yeah, we take a
Connor,
picture?
do it on your phone. Take a picture and
I am sweating.